Go live, get your ass over here, or I'll kill you. Very much about death today.
Hi there, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. No idea why I'm so happy on this show. We're talking about the North London Derby defeat. I don't know why I'm so happy. Just habit, I guess. But anyway, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. We're back on here now after our stint on the Hotspur Hood, and big thanks to Tommy for letting me do that. But we're back on here. And two great guests, hopefully Mac will be joining us a bit later on as well. First, Vez. Vez, not been on here for a little while. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back.
Not so bad, Chris. Not so bad. Obviously, still a little sore over the weekend. But can't complain. Well, I can complain about that. I can't complain about anything else.
Well, we will do. We've got a couple
actually, I can complain about other things as well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Let me start again. Ask me how I am again, Chris.
Yeah. How you doing, Vez?
I'm shit.
Excellent. Welcome to the club. Next, Brian, how you doing, buddy? After the was on for the preview, now we get to predict. Look over our prediction. But how you doing, buddy?
Well, seeing that Rez has now chucked out the 10-minute not swearing, I will see Rez's. I will see Rez's shit, and I'll raise it with fucking shit. So yeah, So yeah, there it is, mate. Once again, we'll dive into this. I've got quite a bit to say, funny enough.
Yeah, shocking.
You surprised me.
Yeah,
you surprised me, Brian. I thought you would be quite sanguine after what happened on
Saturday. I was thinking about coming on here and giving my best Charlie Chaplin impression, but then I thought, nah, fuck it.
I'm still angry now. I don't know how these people could maintain like composure and do shows after a loss like that, like 2 hours afterwards. But anyway, a couple of people in the chat already. Bobby K, how you doing, buddy? And Chris Agenbar, how you doing?
You got Chris, brother.
Little emojis for how we're feeling after that. And three of them, one for each goal we conceded. But yeah, thanks for the comments. Please keep them coming in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. There's Brian and Mac, if he's around, hopefully he is. All have channels themselves. They're in the description, but they'll let you know where you can find those at the end of the show. But yeah, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. And yeah, it really helps the channel. But we'll start with you, actually, Brian. I saw that the lucky shirt with the lucky stain had to be washed. So absolutely devastating for all involved. And we lost the game as well. What was worse for you, the shirt going away or having to be washed? And
tell the truth. The shirt hasn't been washed yet. It's in the washing, ready to go in the wash. Trust me. But what I will say is, when it comes to the shirt, thankfully it's come to an end, because I must admit, on that last game, I caught a bit of fresh air and it kind of bounced back, and it did start to. There was an odour for the first time. So I was like...
At least know when it's Scotland Yard is in your way in the TV, because they're keeping a wide berth so you get a full view to the TV.
Oh, yeah, there is that. But let's be serious. I've been very vocal about this. It's once again, I'm saying with you, Chris, every single time we go there, we play the occasion, not the game. And true to form, once again, it's happened again. It was another... we have Hugo Lloris, and we're getting to individual performances.
Oh, we're talking about him. I guarantee.
Yeah. Oh no. What I want to say is, I'll leave that part to talk. But what I'm trying to get at is, we have a World Cup winner. We have Champions League winners. We have league winners from other domestic leagues. We have England Euro 2021, whatever you want to call it, finalists that should be able to turn it on when it comes to a big game. That's why they're at the elite level they are, to be in these competitions and get to where they are. And they get to the filth, or they get to Stamford Bridge. It's like, the crowd's too loud. Or, bullshit. It's nonsense. There is a fundamental issue with the club mentality-wise. You know where I'm going with this. It's 22 years worth of it, and it ain't changing anytime soon. until people start realising this. Doesn't matter who's in charge. Doesn't matter who we bring in. The mentality of this football club is get Champions League football, and that's it. That's where we need to be because that's where the money is. We won't go for any higher. And until this changes, nothing will. What up, Gareth?
It's nice to see I caught you on your levying rant. Nice to see you.
I know. I was just about to say, what are the chances that Gareth walked in just so I'm going to leave you out, and then I've realised this is me, and it's highly likely. Highly likely.
Well, you'll get a load. You'll get a load more rants, Brian, because like Cody says, how you doing, Cody? 12 matches in the next 40 days, starting tomorrow. My God. Yep. But there's, it was a weird game,
by the way, for being.
What? Sorry. That's all right.
By the way, yeah,
that's all right.
Oh, kids.
Where the fuck have you been?
Thanks for fitting us into your busy schedule. Appreciate it. Wes,
well, listen, mate. We can't all be like child free and doing what the fuck we want when we want.
But yeah, Wes,
whatever. It's just excuses.
I thought the first 20 minutes up until when they scored, like Brian said, we just didn't turn up at all. We'll go into the fact that we're letting them have pot shots from however many. But after that, if Son had his passing boots on, it would have been like that Liverpool 2-2 game at home last year where we had about 6 chances. Richarlison did brilliantly for the penalty after Son sent it wide. But I thought we had them really rattled when we scored the penalty. Half-time came at a really bad time for us. But you can't excuse. And if Romero had looked up as well, minute before they scored, could have been 2-1. He'd have rolled it for a sitter for Sonny. We could have. Match of the day showed the actual game as Arsenal all over us. Alan Shearer's punditry showed if we'd have had our passing boots on, we'd have had about 4 goals there, or 4 clear-cut chances. What did you think of the game? It was a really weird game. I agree with Brian in the first 20 minutes or up until when they scored that we just didn't turn up at all.
I don't even think in the first 20 minutes we didn't show up at all. We should have played an extra man in midfield. I think it was a.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah. Being there, the ball kept coming in towards the box. We kept toothing it out to nobody. If we had an extra man in the middle, we might have been able to have coped with things a little bit better. The whole thing was from where I was stood was awful. The better team won. They outplayed us. We were set up to play counter-attacking football. We weren't quick enough getting the ball out. We weren't quick enough playing it down the flanks. Kulu was a big miss, but because we're talking about him later. But Kulu was a huge miss. For me, it was a perfect game to bring Jed Spence in, so we had some pace coming down that right side.
He's on my list as well.
And I would have put Sessegnon down the left as well, for the first hour to try and hit them with some pace, just to put them on the back foot a little bit. And it never happened. And yeah, as per usual for yet another season, we've not turned up at the library.
Yeah. And Wes, what were your thoughts of the game overall and yeah, as a summary of the game?
See, I'm gonna be a little bit in that first half, we actually weren't that bad, right? Yeah. The thing is that everyone sort of looks at the fact that Arsenal had the bulk of the possession and then draw the conclusion that because of that we're playing badly. But the whole point is that we are there to cede possession. We are there to give them possession, right? That's what counter-attacking football is. It's about waiting and soaking up pressure, which we did for the most part. The other one that's going around now is that whole idea of playing 3 in the middle. Now, if it was up to me, I probably would have played 3 in the middle as well. However, what I will say is that we didn't lose that match in the midfield. We lost that match on the flanks. And the reason we lost it on the flanks is because they did what everyone is doing right now, which is block the left, our left, and focus on the right, because we've got Emerson fucking Royale, right? There on the right. Now, Emerson Royale, as far as unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably the fact that we're probably going to see him tomorrow. But my fervent hope is that we never see that boy in a Spurs shirt again. Okay, because it has now been over a year. Okay, if he let's bring up those excuses. Oh, he's new to the league. That's not the case anymore. Oh, he's still learning the language. If he can't speak the language well enough to play football after a year, he doesn't deserve to even be here. Yeah. Oh, he's okay defensively. That's bollocks as well. Okay. Emerson Royale should not be in that squad. And that, again, it's like the perfect path back. Why is Emerson Royale in that team? It is
do you blame Conte for
we
that?
don't have. No, I don't.
Do you blame Conte for that? Or...
Okay.
Oh,
for a couple of... No, not at all. And I'll say why. Because Doherty is, I would think that Doherty is actually who Conte would want to play first, right? Because at the end, before he got injured, he was starting to show signs that he actually understood what Conte wanted.
That Villa game was an absolute bastard, wasn't it? When he got taken out.
But he's not fit. He's still not fit. It wasn't a cruciate ligament. I think it was one of the ligaments inside the knee that got fucked. You don't walk back from that. It takes months, right? And the other right wing back we've got is Jed Spence, who, I'm sorry, but one decent game against Arsenal does not a right wing back make. Yeah, we should have a player of the same sort of ilk as Perisic on the right, so that a team and opposition cannot block Perisic and focus on our weaker flank and get all the joy that they need. Yeah, they were not coming at us through the middle. People are saying, oh, Partey was dominant there. No, he wasn't. The best central midfielder on the pitch in that match was Rodrigo Bentancur. Yeah, not Thomas Partey, not Martin Odegaard, and not Granit Xhaka, even though he scored a goal, right? This is the problem. We have not strengthened enough, okay? And we come back to the transfer window. The reason that we are not winning convincingly, the reason that we've ridden our luck, the reason that Arsenal managed to get the game is a combination of the fact that, as Brian said, we were playing the occasion and not the team, and the fact that we are still weak. Yeah? Now, I'm happy for us to rebuild our squad over a number of transfer windows, because I don't think it's wise to do a Nottingham Forest and bring in 25 new players or 24 new players. That's bad, yeah, because you lose all chemistry and you've got to build right from the beginning. However, we should have focused on our priority areas. Our priority areas, there were two of them this season, this transfer window, two glaring weaknesses: central defense, right wing back. We did not fill either of those berths with quality. Longley, I have hopes for. I think he's actually a really good defender, but it's not enough. Because let's say Longley now gets injured. Who do we bring in? Davinson Sanchez? Let's say Romero gets injured. Who do we bring in? Davinson Sanchez? And at right wing back, we've got no one. Right.
To be fair, the options that we've got in that position is unreal. It's so reassuring. It's,
yeah.
So I'll be with you saying there at the beginning, mate. It was about how it looked. Obviously, did you watch it on the telly? Yeah. So it looked a lot more different to you guys watching it on the box than what it looked from watching it in the ground. Because in the ground, it did, and this is why saying what I said. So it's good to have the various in perspective, because every time they, and this is why I said about not playing it out. Every time they seem to attack during the first 20 minutes, half an hour, all they seemed to do was lump it up into the midfield where there was nobody. And rather than playing some of the football that we've seen Tottenham be able to play, try and get it out to the flanks. And you know what? It was horrible. It was horrible to watch at parts. It really was.
I thought after we scored, we looked that we had them rattled. I thought we were going to get another goal here.
Mate, to be fair, pitch side, we didn't look like we had them rattled at all. It looked like they had more hunger. I think after that goal went in, they kind of were like, "Well, fuck you, you're only getting one."
Even though, you know what? Even at 2-1, I still felt we were in it. Yeah, we had the ability to spring the trap. Yeah, we had the ability to spring the trap.
We've got to
remember,
we'll always be hopeful.
I mean, Cody here said,
look, it's not about possession. If everyone thinks that the winning team is always the one that has the best possession. That's not the case, and it's not going to be the case with Conte, right? We should be resigned, accepting, whatever word you want to use, of the fact that from now on until the day Conte leaves, at least, we will play the majority of the games with less than 50% possession. Yeah, accept that, live with it. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. And for me, yeah, I understand people who don't like the style of it, right? It's not wonderfully beautiful football, okay? But we brought Conte in because we need to win something. Yeah. If that means we've got to play shit football, I don't mind. I don't mind 5 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws and a loss in 8 games. Yeah. That's fine for me because I think that's a decent record. Okay. What is irritating me is the fact that it doesn't have to be quite so hard. You look at Conte's Inter, you look at Conte's Chelsea. It might not have been that sort of free-flowing football, but my God, it was effective. And it did get you off your seat because they had the right players for his system. Again. We're make, do, and mending rather than saying, you know what, let's actually build a team here. Right.
He had the focus on. He had wing backs who could cross the ball.
Rez, just on top of what you're saying, mate, it will be proven if Conte walks or Conte leaves without winning anything, that will be 2 managers at the elite level that have come to this club that have won something with every single club they go to, except. Tottenham Hotspur.
Except
and it doesn't matter how long they were there for, because they both, Jose Mourinho came halfway through a season and won something in it and left during his second season, a season where every club he's been to, he's won something. Antonio Conte came half through a season and will have another season. Conte won it at first chance for Chelsea. Bang. So 2 managers come in the elite level that have a CV that says, I win everywhere I go if I'm backed. And he walks or
that's the key part, though, isn't it? If I'm backed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying, Gareth. That's what I'm saying. If this happens, if it happens to one thing, you can say, "Oh yeah, Jose Mourinho, we knew it. He gets back with hundreds of millions and he does what he does." Well, Antonio Conte doesn't do things the same way, with the same he doesn't splurge as much as Jose does. But here he comes at the. Not only is he at the top, he's not like Jose at the top and on the way down. He's there and at the top. There's no going down for a bit. And if this is the second manager that has the second scenario like this, there is nowhere to turn. There are no other excuses to make. There is only one excuse, or not even an excuse. There is only one reality. And that's, who's been here for the whole time? And who's been witnessing them come and go? And he's got nowhere to go. And let me just say big up to Cody, my brother. It's good to see him back in the comments.
Let me just read it out.
It's great spending the day with him again.
Yeah, I saw the picture there. Just let me read it out. You can field a team of 11 world beaters, but if they fail to use their brains like Lloris, Romero, Dyer, Emerson did, you aren't winning in a hostile environment. We'll come on to quite a few of those in a bit. But I'll come to you, Brian, because you mentioned this on the Friday show, the preview. This guy, Basuma, coming in. We were all saying we wanted a 3 in midfield. He wasn't in there. Was that an error, do you think? Or do you think whoever we played, we'd have had that, playing the occasion rather than the team?
No, I think if we played 3, it would have been completely different. And I'd tell you the truth, I'm happy that Basuma's fully fit. You do have a fit Ollie Skip now.
Yeah.
So it's not, you've only got the one option. You've got the second. And I absolutely adore Ollie Skip. And honestly, I'll tell you now, last game he played was the last game, or I was there, was when we beat Leicester in that amazing thing, in that amazing turnaround in the last couple of minutes. I'll tell you now, when you're with the Spurs fans and you hear the only song that gets louder is when we sing Antonio. When people are singing Ollie Skip's song, whether it's because he's home, the decibel level is ridiculous. I love the guy, and there were some people I was talking to when me and Bobby did the late late show on We Are Tottenham TV, and Bobby Kane was one of them that said they wanted Harry Kane to kind of be that third midfielder to drop back, so it would be, so you have that one offensive guy that could thread the ball through an eye of a needle, ready for Richarlison and Son to pounce. But I was like, no. On this game, we just need 3 Bulldogs to be in there and just say, you ain't getting past us. This ain't about flair. This ain't about glory. This ain't about... I want 3 players in there to just shut up shop, cut off their oxygen to stop them getting to the front 3. That's what I wanted. And we saw, you could see it. Listen, the first half, like Rez said, wasn't too bad. May have looked good for Gareth, or not so great for Gareth and everyone there. But when you watch it on TV, the style of football that Conte plays, and Rez is bang on the money. Everyone has to get over this. I want posh football back. And we got the. It's not happening. It's not going to be happening anytime soon, unless we start dropping serious notes, and then it happened. But Bissouma or Skip needed to come in to say, right, midfield lockdown. You ain't doing what you normally do, and you could see in the first half it was already there. It was already there. Like Rez said, when you play 3, the one fundamental problem with that is you need fantastic wing backs. And for the first time, I really wasn't happy with Perisic. Really wasn't happy with Perisic at all. And of all games to do it. But yeah, I think the 3 in midfield would have just literally cut off their oxygen and allowed us to do something. So whether it be Bissouma or Skip, I would have been happy because we have the option now. Out of that
See,
4...
you know what the issue is, like, you know, with Perisic, the issue is not that he played particularly badly. It's the fact that they targeted him, they stifled him. It was what West Ham did to us as well, right? Everyone knows it's common knowledge. If you want to hurt Spurs, focus on Royale, right? It is not even funny. He can't defend. He can't attack. He can't pass. He can't tackle. He can't run. He can't do anything, right? He shouldn't be in the team. But unfortunately, the only options are an unproven teen, 20-year-old something, and a guy who is coming back from a cruciate ligament injury or a ligament injury in his knee, right? That should have been addressed. But they probably turned around and said, oh, Doherty will be back for the second half of the season, so it's fine. It's like, throw the first half of the season away because Doherty will be back for the second half of the season. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, no. The only thing I'll say with that with Perisic is the thing that disappointed me with Perisic is obviously his first touch let him down a few times when he was going forward, which was a problem.
Yeah.
The one chance that he had where the shot didn't even go on target, but he went near post instead of far post. No matter what's happened, he has managed to get to the byline and get in a few crosses. Was not able to on that's the bits that disappointed me. Right? I completely agree with you that they know where to target. And let's face it, if you've got a wounded animal and then you've got a ferocious lion, you're going to take your chances with the wounded animal, and that's what Emerson is.
And this is why Kulu was such a big miss because you're giving them something to think about on both sides.
Big time. You see just how vital.
We had nothing. We had no way to change it up offensively. It was one of those games where if you looked at the bench, we needed to be 2-1 up and then shutting shop.
Yeah.
When you look at what we had on the bench, there was nothing to do offensively off that bench that we could do.
Hill was the only one, wasn't it? Hill was the only one, and he's not played for donkey's years.
Not only that, the manager doesn't want it. The manager does not want it there.
Well, it's because Morva's injured as well, so it was out of necessity that he was there rather than
and you know what? It's good to see just how much of an effect Kulu has on the squad. It's a shame in a game it's been proven in. But yeah, it did. It just looked from being on those sidelines, it looked awful. It just.
Would you have put 3 in midfield, Gareth? Or
I said that in my opening rant, mate. Yeah, I'd have had a 3rd in midfield. I'd have for me, I'd have had Højbjerg and Bissouma knocking the fuck out of them, and Bentancur trying to be that man in the middle to release the ball. To get the guys running onto it. That's what I would have done. I'd have probably played a 4-3-3, 3-5-3, 3-4-3 to get them, and just give them that extra bit in the middle. And that's what we were missing.
Oh yeah, Royale had no fault in any of the goals. So because he was not at fault for any of the goals, that means he had a great game, did he? Yeah, that's how football works. Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to comment.
We'll talk about Royal in a bit, but let's talk about him now. Start with you. Brian. The red card, harsh or not? I thought it was harsh. This is a clip from it. This wasn't me with my camera. I thought it was slightly harsh, and I watched Sky Sports News earlier, or a clip from on YouTube with Dermot Gallagher on there, who's got less charisma than my shit that I had earlier, saying that the top one here was a red card, the bottom one here wasn't a red card. Obviously, Van Dijk would be sat down, so he wouldn't be able to live up his backside like everyone seems to be if he did get sent off. I thought it was quite harsh. Brian, the red card. It was a ridiculous challenge in the fact that Martinelli's in his own half, going backwards, just keep him there. Yeah. That's like Cody says, with the stupid decisions, moronic decisions made by a bunch of players, including Royale. But I thought a yellow card for that. I didn't think it was a red card. I thought that was very harsh. What did you make of the red card? Ignore Emerson's play and failings and everything. In terms of the red card, what did you think of that?
So first of all, VAR is pointless. It is absolutely pointless because it's not the technology, it's the people that are running it that this needs to stop. Yeah. It is a red card all day long, as is Van Dijk's. But Liverpool obviously got away with it. When I saw it with Cody, at first it looked, the Arsenal players rolling around. It's harsh. Doesn't even matter how hard doesn't matter how hard the connection was. You put your foot, you make a tackle that high on someone in today's game, you are asking for trouble. You are absolutely
because that's the third challenge that referee's been involved in, where it's been high with only one red card out of 3 as well. Yeah, doesn't change the fact it was.
Yeah, this is the thing. You put your foot in there at that height, and it didn't look so bad to start off with, but when you watch it on the repeat and you watch the replays, I mean, if I'd been in the ground with Gareth, I'd be like, "What the hell is that all about?" Blah blah. And then as soon as I would have got home, I'd have been like, "Referee's right."
Oh, mate, I'm not even going to lie. When I was there, I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh, he's caught him. Happy. But then the red card came out, and we're all stood there going, "Did he? He must have had a little nibble at him afterwards." That's what we're all thinking. My mate, who's a Liverpool fan, went red card all day long.
Yeah,
look for a highlight, and you can't argue it.
That's the thing. You can't forget how shocking he is and how shocking we played as a team. That is, unfortunately, in today's game. And do you know what I'm also going to say? I said it, and I said it to a few. I can't remember if I said it to you. Anthony Taylor, who fundamentally said after the Chelsea game, "I got that wrong. I should have sent off Romero for that red card." He knew that.
He's making.
He knew that. It's in his head. And when you look at it, and you hear referees say this before, when players had a certain reputation for diving, if they went down for a penalty, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, that's him? Is that his reputation?" I would say no. Maybe get Anthony Taylor in the back of his mind had, right, I should have had Spurs a man down. Not saying that's the fundamental reason. That tackle is a red card all day long, and I want to thank Anthony Taylor for that. It means there's 3 Premiership games without him. So please, in fact, I hope Spurs contest it and it gets risen up to 4.
Should we do we need to start a petition to make sure he refs every game?
Just very quickly for more in here, why is no one having a go at Lloris? The only reason we're not having a go at Lloris is we haven't got to him yet.
But at the same time, also, if you've watched any of my stuff for him, you would have seen me absolutely going crazy at Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that you put out yesterday.
Also, at the same time, not yesterday, as much as Lloris has a mistake in him, and normally it's a fucking clanger when he does, 9 times out of 10, he's quite solid. So he's not as prolific as what Emerson Royal has in such a short period of time.
Oh, I can't wait till we get to him.
Exactly.
I can't wait.
I think it's kind of gone now. I think we can't. I mean, in terms of the red card, Mac, Rez, I'm assuming red card, yes.
No, mate, no way he should have been sent off. It was it was a love tap. No, mate.
Well, do you know what? Look, I'll say this. Okay, it wasn't as clear cut as some might think, right? There, because of the fact that, as we saw later that day, there have been challenges like that have not been penalized, right? So the idea that, you know, we might think it deserves a red card, but it is a red card is something else. Yeah. Okay. So the key here is the key here is, again, we're going to come back to his lack of brain, right? We're going to come back to his lack of brain. A player should know that a tackle like that potentially carries a severe penalty and should have enough brains not to do it, or to be certain. It's still not guaranteed that you're going to get it right, but it was rash, it was reckless, and it was pointless. Martinelli was in his own half facing away from our goal. He had no business challenging for that ball, right? Especially because there was another man on him as well.
Yeah, coming to that though, what you said there, it was stupid and reckless. Was Mr. Kane a bit stupid as well? Because he fell out. I can't remember who it was, but he's had a little dig there. He's had a little dig there.
I don't think that's a dig. I think he's put his leg out to try and win a free kick.
I don't think so. He's already fallen over. I think that was bloody stupid. As you can see there from the timeline there, that was 3-1 after we were down to 10 men. Yeah, but if he gets sent off for 3 games as well, and it brings me to this point of Emerson is obviously not hated, but he's not very well liked by the Spurs fan base, and he does.
I like him. I just don't think he's a very good footballer.
No. Well, okay. Well, a lot of the fan base don't like him, right? So when he does something, definite red card, absolutely terrible, get off. Harry Kane does something stupid because he's Mr. Spurs. Because he's Mr. Spurs, he gets a bit of a dispensation from it.
And I'm saying it because I don't like Harry Kane. I think the guy's a dick, right? I love him. I love what he does on the pitch. Off the pitch, I think he's a knob. Got no time for him, right? He's a fucking throbber.
But he is massively important to us. He is massively important to us. Whereas Emerson Royal is not.
It doesn't matter how important he is to us. My perspective of what Harry Kane tried to do is the guy's gone down on the ground. Kane's running towards him, and I think he's tried to put a leg in the vicinity. And as much as it could look like a kick, and I can understand the interpretation, because Kane is a little bit more clever than Emerson Royal, I genuinely think he's tried to put his leg somewhere in there to hopefully look like he's been taken out to try and get a little bit back towards the Arsenal. That's my perspective, and that's me who hates Harry Kane.
I have to disagree there. I think he's been.
Of course you do. It would be a fun podcast if you didn't. Fucking magic man. Come on.
Well, I mean, what do you think, Rez? Because
obviously, not one of my people, Bobby K. You're one of my people before he is, you fucker.
What do you think, Rez? Because I'll come back to last season. Emerson's getting a lot more furore for his red card. I know we lost that game than Kane did for that challenge on Robertson, which he didn't even get a yellow card.
Robertson's a cunt and he's a jock, so it's all right.
Yeah, but in terms of the challenge, Kane's one was bloody dangerous as well. If Robertson had his other foot planted, that's a leg breaker as well. But he didn't get the kind of vindication that Emerson is getting. So that's just my question.
There's a very good reason.
Does Kane get a little bit more leeway because he's Harry Kane, whereas Emerson doesn't get that leeway because he's Emerson?
In actual fact, that is a lot of the case is part of that. A lot of it is part of that, but that as well is justified. Kane has scored hundreds of goals for us, right? Emerson has continually failed us. So if you say to me,
listen, he hasn't failed us completely. Have you not seen his Big Ben TikTok?
No.
I mean, Brian, there's an element.
He's giving it all this to Big Ben, and then all of a sudden he goes.
Yeah, sorry.
But for me, I'll tell you this: I don't dislike Emerson as a person, right? I actually think, personality-wise, he's someone that can be a lot of fun and will probably have a good sense of humor and be quite funny. But
you know what,
for me,
mate, I bet he brings the best gear to all the parties. He brings the best gear to all
I
the
want
parties.
a
He's the
proper
guy
right
you
wing
want.
back on the pitch.
I mean, what
right?
do you think, Brian?
That's
Because
what I want.
What do you think, Brian? There's an element though that Kane should be more. We should be more angry at Kane for doing things like that, because if he goes out for 3 games, we are fucked. If Emerson goes out for 3 games, we've just got a shit player out for 3 games. But what do you think of the fact that does Kane get more leeway for things like that, where both of those challenges, the Emerson sending off and the Liverpool one last season, are potentially leg breakers and disgraceful challenges? Where do you stand on that? Does Emerson get less leeway than Kane? And if so, is that right? Is that right?
Of course he does. It's England captain tax. England captain get that. Honestly, they get away with fucking murder. I'm not saying this incident. This incident, I think, is a bunch of nothing. The Andy Robertson one was a red card all goddamn day long.
Yeah. He didn't even get a yellow for that. He didn't get anything.
Again, England captain tax. Can't forget. I swear to you, even other England captains have said it. There used to be with referees where, listen, Harry Kane gets suspended for 3 games. Then we'll see that huge amount of attacking flair and the great summer transfer window that it was coming to fruition, because there's a plethora of talent ready to take his place. I'm with Gareth, not with what I didn't even think about what he said about being the reason that kick was there. I think that's a much of nothing, that one. And the media have just picked it up. Or no, sorry, an Arsenal fan picked it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And said it. It's amazing how no one, not any network, Sky, BT, not one but Match of the Day.
And when you put something in slow-mo, it always looks worse. Whereas you look at the actual thing itself. This is why I said I think he was putting a leg in to try and get a free kick or some kind of retribution against the Arsenal player. Because not even the Arsenal player went down like he'd been kicked or started rolling like he'd been struck by Kane.
This is the thing. Like I said, not one of the big football networks have picked up and said,
is Chris, I'm very disappointed. I believe this is lazy journalism for your podcast, trying to oust Mr. Fantastic the way you are with a really shit tackly type thing. I'm going to start.
Do you know what? There's one other thing to bear in mind.
My podcast do give a shit.
There's one other thing to bear in mind, right? Is that was it Gabriel? Is that was
I think that was the Harry Kane one. I think.
Yeah, Bobby.
Whoever it is, you've got to bear in mind that player plays for Arsenal, so probably doesn't have a willy anyway. So it's fine. He's not going to feel anything.
I mean, it's a weird one. I think for me, I don't care how bad Emerson's been or how good Harry Kane's been. If they both get sent off for stupid challenges or leg breaking challenges, they're both disgraces. It's just quite strange. I thought that people who don't like Emerson, definite red card, absolute disgrace. Nothing gets said about the Harry Kane one. But,
do you know what?
I just find it quite odd. I find it quite odd.
Yeah, we haven't called him a disgrace. We just called him a stupid bastard because it was a pointless challenge. He's a thick
and the point of it is that Kane could potentially have been trying to either win something or get something that was advantageous to him. He had a thought process. Emerson was idiotic to make that challenge. There was no reason for it, right?
Yeah, I think if you find the video of Kane, I think
he should have been focusing on getting himself back into position for when the ball might have come down that flank at him again. He didn't. Yeah. He chased Martinelli into the Arsenal half and put in a challenge that was unnecessary, right? Kane thought he could win something from it, or maybe put a reducer on the Arsenal player, right? In a surreptitious way, and got away with it. The fact that he got away with it is the key, right? That demonstrates also as well.
Have we not considered? But have we not considered as well something as which a lot of footballers do? Okay, is they get battered, they get bad. We know that the right side's our weak link. Do you think Emerson Royal maybe just thought, I'm fucking sick of this. I'm sick of this prick. I'm just going to see if I can cheekily put one on him.
I think he was trying to get the ball, mistimed it, but it was a stupid time to make a challenge.
How many players do something like that out of frustration?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what Harry Kane's was. Looking at the video that I saw on Twitter earlier, I think he was perfectly. He knew exactly what he was doing. I think it was just stupid. Bob Spurs in the chat. How you doing, Bob? I hope your kid, your son's doing well.
I ain't even know. Yeah, you
love my women the way I love my Emerson's. A bit blonde, goes down hard. Next one. Women love me the way I love Chris's magic. Fingers. And what's the last one? Gareth loves his women like he loves Rez's bearded.
Like he loves his Rez's bearded.
Yeah. Bobby K. Martinelli sold that big time. We'd have exactly the same if it was Richarlison going down there at all, or with Emerson come back and have 10 amazing games.
The Emerson loving 10 amazing games. I'd love him to have one amazing game.
Let me just read it out.
Let
me just read it out. He's disliked by fans. He's playing for Spurs losing.
Are you Emerson in disguise?
But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. We'll come to you first, Brian. I know you
defending the indefensible defender.
Well, it's like we said earlier. Who else have we got? You know, so we're stuck with Emerson, whether we like him or not. Not the next 3 games,
but we have got options.
Guys, I'm just popping out and popping on a different setup.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. All right, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
We'll come to you first, Brian, for this one next because I saw you put a tweet.
That's funny. We're going to Brian first. Come on then.
Well, you've already fucking chatted for shit for the last 2 minutes, so it's Brian's turn.
Oh my god.
You were late. Turn up on time next time. Anyway, it's time up for Hugo. I mean, I thought the first one was bad enough. Where he's again gone to Jordan Pickford's school of goalkeeping, palmed it straight out, but then comes back off Emerson, tries to catch it, and this I find unforgivable.
You mean comes back off Romero?
Yeah, who did I say?
Emerson.
Oh,
stop hating on him for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'll get in trouble, won't I? But yeah, comes off Romero and then tries to catch it, and it just squirms under him. And Jesus wants it more than Romero.
That's better.
Well, Emerson was in the vicinity, so he should have fucking tried to tackle him again.
I love Hugo. He's been a fantastic servant to us. But I know a lot of people, yourself included, Brian, were saying when Eriksen was linked, we've got to stop with sentimentality. He's making mistakes. He has done for about 4 years. They're costing us games. You see, he had a period not that long ago where it seemed like they were stopping, and it seems to have started again. Sentimentality.
Started.
I mean, do you think, Brian, it's time we have to start finding a replacement for Hugo for next season, or do you think where do you stand? Or where do you stand on him? Because for me, we need a new goalkeeper. Start next season minimum.
Let's put it this way. I've got quite a bit to say when it comes to this man. So Hugo, without doubt, the greatest goalkeeper in my lifetime, hands down. Without, and the only reason,
piss off, Bob.
The only one that comes close to him and didn't stay that long in terms of how Hugo was Eric Horsfett. The next best one. Hugo Lloris is a world-class goalkeeper. There's no denying it. There's nothing. He has given us, I have seen this man make saves, both live and watching on TV, that I didn't think was humanly possible. But he's done them. There have been games and seasons where the amount of points we have accumulated has everything to do with this man. The man now, his shot stopping is still right up there with the best in the world.
Would you say that being that he's palming it straight out into danger areas now?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Well, this is where I'm going. His decision making and that kind of shot should have been palmed. His decision making, his handling and his distribution are now, and a lot of it's got to do with his age. But in a world now where goalkeepers play from the back and your footwork is vital, he's woeful. He's woeful. He is hands down the worst distribution with his feet in the Premier League. Hands down. There's no discussion. His decision making is now becoming questionable. His handling, when he should be fisting, he punches. When he punches, he should fist. And a lot of this issue, once again, comes back to the 10 years that he's been here. Not once has he had genuine competition. Not once.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah, he did when he first
Friedel
started,
at the beginning.
Yeah, but I'm talking about his longevity since Friedel went. Friedel was there and he took Friedel's place. Since Friedel came, Friedel left, he's been, there has not been, Lloris came there to give Friedel competition. Lloris has been there and it's been Galini. It's been Gazaniga. It's been Michel Vorm. It's been, and only now is Fraser Foster, who is not a long-term solution. This now needs to be done. And the thing is, in true to form, Daniel Levy style, who are we meant to be going for? The Leeds keeper. What's the Leeds keeper done? When you make this decision, this goalkeeper, when you're bringing in a goalkeeper, to me, it is the position you have to get right. There's no fuck-ups. This has to be right. If you buy a bad striker, you go get another one. They're 10 a penny. If you got right wing backs, we have a plethora of them. Defenders, you can do it. Goalkeeper has to be right. And you look at any other team, when United lost Schmeichel, when the Filth lost Seaman, you could go on and on and on. This has to be right. And I'm sorry, I don't want us to sign a guy from Leeds who hasn't played Champions League football, who isn't an international. We need to be signing a keeper at the top of his game. Not, oh, wait a minute, we've got...
Who would you go for? Because I saw Jan Oblak is on our radar.
He's there, but the one I've been saying the whole time, and he has played international, is Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson, all day long, been on loan at the Premiership, got at Sheffield United, did brilliantly. The first season, he was sensational. So he's at Nottingham Forest, doing what he does for Nottingham Forest. England international, has been at Manchester United. Yes, he's young, but he's got the experience, and he's been away of international duty. If it's not him, it's exactly who you said, Oblak.
Yeah.
Look at Liverpool. Liverpool had to go get a better goalkeeper, and they're like, right, let's sort this out so we don't need to buy another keeper, another keeper, another keeper, another keeper. And they went and spent the big bucks. I'll bring this back to the right back position that Ori wants to not blame Emerson for, and show you why and why I go Levy out, because Ori never listens to Levy out. Since Kyle Walker left 7 years ago, Trippier was there, but we let Trippier go. And that year we played him through injury because he needed a groin operation, and we kept giving him injections to get through. Since then, we have spent over the 50 million for Kyle Walker on 4 players. Each one of them have been shitter than the previous one.
Than the one before.
And still there is no right wing back to do it. Jed Spence might be able to do it, and I think he will within time, but he needs time. Not the right now. You cannot do it with a goalkeeper. You cannot do it. And Hugo is losing his powers, and I don't want him to go out this way. This guy deserves a medal. He deserves a trophy, but we can't have trophies. We can't have trophies at Tottenham. Can't have nice shiny things. Can have bars that go along the pitch. Can have 2 pitches. Can have the biggest shop in Europe. You can't have a trophy.
No, but Brian,
Could I just make 2 comments?
Remember,
you got to look
No, very quickly. But remember, right? Trophies allegedly aren't achievements. Those are not achievements by which a football club should be judging itself. Apparently, trophies are not, right? Balance sheets, that's the real achievement.
Monopoly
Excel,
FC.
that's the real achievement.
You know what? No,
just let me be
the real way to measure your club is by how much oil you have and how many women you stone.
Right, let me just read 2 comments out. Read 2 comments out on that note. Cody saying, just hurts 10 times as bad when Hugo drops stinkers in big games. In this case, one of the biggest was only a few weeks ago. He saved that crazy deflection from Mitrovic, and that's 3 points. This one from Bob, shouldn't really laugh, but I can't help it. But Kwarteng, he's the Chancellor, had to change his speech at the last minute after vowing back on slashing the 45p rate of income tax for the wealthy, following a series of senior Tories criticising the plan. That's Emerson's fault. Shouldn't really laugh. Bob's on form today, working on his stand-up routine. Keep it coming.
Just like I'm saying in closing, the time is, Hugo, we need serious competition for. There needs to be a signing right now, or not right now, obviously, but either in January. I'd love it. I want Dean Henderson. I'd love it in January, but if not, the summer.
Yeah, because he's only on loan at United, at Forest.
He's on loan, but this is the thing again. You got one thing I've got to say. You got to remember. Rez mentioned it before. Fundamentally, at the start of this window or the close of this window, we did address 2 pivotal areas. It took 8 years to get competition for Kane. It got 4 years for Basuma to come to try and ease the hurt of Dembele. It's taken 7 years to look for a right wing back. So God knows how long we're going to take for a goalkeeper. Hugo will still be playing at 43, though, in our luck.
Yeah, I mean, you say not right now, but I said when he signed that 2-year deal, I wanted a top quality goalkeeper to come in, because then it would be a Friedel and Lloris situation again, where the new goalkeeper forces him out in the same way that he did Friedel. Because now what you're going to have is Hugo Lloris.
January or the summer, I reckon we probably will. And the reason we've got the extra year on Lloris
that's what I'm hoping, because what I don't want is, like you said, Brian, with Schmeichel. Schmeichel went out and then shit, we need a new goalkeeper in and big shoes to fill there. I don't want that. I want someone who's playing with Lloris, competing with Lloris, and then when Lloris does go, he's got some experience in that team and in that setup, rather than coming in straight from the cold. But I mean, Matt, you said January. Do you think we'll get someone in January? Because like Bez said as well, we still need a right wing back and we still need a central defender. So which is more important for you, the defenders or the goalkeeper? You'd have to say the defenders, because we need them now. We've still got goalkeeper now.
To me, they're both just as important. You know, we need a centre back there to partner to partner Emerson. Fuck off! He's in my head now. To partner Romero, we needed another, and we need a decent goalkeeper. And for me,
the point is over there. You just missed it.
The 2-year deal. I do. There must be some kind of plan, and I'm trying to think, what could that plan be? Ryan!
Gareth Hooker has arrived. Do you want to come back in 10 minutes?
Hello.
Yeah, Vez, goalkeeper, defenders, it's more important for you.
Ryan Colley!
My
son got his phone on Saturday. We've been phoning him already.
The defenders is by far the most important thing, right? The issue here, though, is that the goalkeeping situation could have already been solved, right? Because no goalkeeper that we're going to get is going to be brought in immediately. Yeah, you've got the opportunity to bed them in, to get them used to the system.
Prior to the phone going off, I was going to say we bring someone. For me, that I'm hoping that it's going to be a January or summer signing with 12 to 18 months of Hugo Lloris. You know, giving him his knowledge, passing on the baton, and you know, hopefully, you know, giving him what this key, whoever we get in. To be able to really hit the ground running proper. You know, someone like Dean Henderson, brilliant goalkeeper. I completely agree with what Brian said. And whatever Lloris can give him in an 18, 12-month period will be crucial. You know, all back, is there much that he can possibly pass on knowledge-wise? There's always something. It's just a case of when and who.
It's also lack of pressure in a sense, because if Lloris has gone out, you're the number one. You're filling in from him. There's a bit of pressure. I've got to keep it. But if Lloris is there and you're competing, it's kind of some of the pressure's off. I think anyway. Some of the pressure is off there if you've got the two top keepers there fighting for each other. And I think that must have helped Lloris when he first joined, with having Friedel there, who was number one. Him then forcing Friedel out. But yeah.
You know what? Forget it.
But yeah, next one. Is it time for Jed Spence, Mac? You said you wanted it in from the start.
For me against Arsenal, he's got pay. He's got. You know what? He only came on for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes against Forest. But you could see the boy had pace. You could see that he's got a bit of something about him. And I think that it would have just given Arsenal something to think about. You know, with the pace that he's got, that could have been a rash challenge. Or put Ben White on was it Ben? No, Ben White was playing right back for them. Whoever they had on their left side would have given them, put in a challenge, got booked, it'd have given them something to think about. I just think it was one of those where because we didn't have the outlet, and because we didn't seem to have the pace and the ability to hold the ball up, someone like Spence running with the ball, because that's all Lucas would have done if he'd have been subbed on at 60 minutes. It would have given them just something to think about, something else to focus on, which could have then potentially have freed space elsewhere. It's always buts and maybes, but I would have given him a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's I did see something on Twitter saying that Jed Spence very rarely gets done one-on-one. Obviously, this is the Championship, not the Premiership. But
yeah,
I mean, who comes in for Emerson for you? I'm assuming Spence, because he's the one who's fit. Whereas, like you said with Doherty, he's still coming back? Or would you give Doherty 3 games, see how his leg is, and if he can get back to that form he had just before the injury last season?
Look, in an ideal situation, I mean, I would probably say don't give Doherty the run out, because if he's still coming back from that injury, imagine if he gets injured again. That could, I mean, and this is not necessarily about Spurs, but that's career ending potentially, right? Yeah. Or puts him out again for a period of time when then we would be stuck with one right wing back who we don't know and one who's an utter train wreck, Right now, to be honest, I don't see any great risk in playing Jed Spence, right? Because he can't be any worse than Emerson. I believe that what Conte has been doing is, in the absence of Matt Doherty, has been basically trying to play Emerson into competence. Yeah. And after what I saw, some of the things like Conte, like there was one point where we won a throw-in and Bentancur picked up the ball and Conte is screaming down the pitch. You can't actually see who he's screaming at. And it turns out it's Emerson, because it's like, get the fuck over here and take the throw in, which is your job, because it's the wing back's job to take the throw in, right?
Hold on, have you checked that with Orin?
Right? Sorry? I missed that. Say again.
I said, have you checked that with Orin?
Yeah, no, I really should. I really should, because obviously he's the expert. So
we're sending the link to come on.
Down. Yeah.
But when would you start Jed Spence, though? Would you start him tomorrow, or would you just start him from the league, Brighton, which is Saturday, isn't it?
Saturday, R5.
Either or. I right now, if someone said to me, you will have the privilege of never having to see Emerson Royale in a Spurs shirt again, that is wonderful for me, and without having to poke my eyes out, which is what I feel like doing when I see him with the ball at his feet.
Yeah. I'd bring him on against Brighton, because I think Brighton are going to be an interesting proposition. We don't know what they're going to bring to the table.
Oh, they're going to be full of confidence after 3-3 at Anfield, and Trossard is going to. Anyway, Brian, Spence for you, or Doherty, and when would you start them? Or Frankfurt tomorrow, or league?
So we all know that Conte didn't want Spence. Bless you. Bless you. So fucking rude, man. I'm about to fucking talk.
Like you haven't been talking enough, you can.
Oh, mate, if that ain't the pot calling the kettle black, I have visions of you going to the mirror to talk to yourself, brother. So let's get
a fucking word in edgeways, mate, with the missus and 2 kids.
Chris, mute them both. That'd be so funny.
So we'll get
by magic.
So Jed Spence, I'm still. We know it wasn't Conte's player. He wanted a more established. Maybe Conte does see him being better or the man in the future, but he wanted someone for now. I am totally adamant that if that player had been signed quickly, like we were meant to this summer, we're going to be different to last summer, and he had him for the career tour, and he had him for longer than he did, he might be our right wing back now.
Who Spence?
What also hasn't helped him is because of this fucking World Cup, the Carabao Cup doesn't start till November. Normally there's in August, September, October.
Isn't it, in November?
Yeah, he would have played in those games, no question. I don't want to see Doherty. I think unfortunately, I think tomorrow you are going to see Royale, because they'll say, right, you haven't got any games for 3 games. I can conserve these people's injuries, energy, because I've got so many games.
Depending on how the game's going, I reckon Doherty, Emerson for an hour, and then you might see Jed Spence just get a run out. If Emerson gets, if Jed gets 20 minutes, half hour against Frankfurt, then I reckon he's looking at starting him against Brighton.
Do you reckon there could be a scenario where it's not Jed Spence or Doherty, it's Perisic over there and Sessegnon on the left?
There could be, but then there's the other way.
Right, the last time we played there.
No. There's the other thing, because obviously, remember, we've gone through a time where we won't buy a right back. We'll just convert everyone to a right wing back. Yeah. So you could see Mora there. You could see Kulusevski there. Fuck those. You can see Fraser Foster there.
It's a cursed position. It's a cursed position.
Why is it a cursed position, Gareth?
Gianni Bio in there.
Everybody, for me, everybody who sees a play there recently, who is supposed to have kind of high. Doherty, we had high hopes for. He came in and he was shit to start. He was.
Okay, whoa. Orin, we've had this conversation before, where you think you're the big man, you think you're clever, you say things to try and wipe people up. It doesn't wipe me up. It just infuriates me because you talk utter nonsense.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Non-stop nonsense. You give it the big one. You're never there. You talk absolute shit. And now you want to talk about protesting. I do shit for my football club. I stand up for what I believe in. I don't just fucking tweet stuff and talk random shit. And like you say all the time, when you go, all Spurs fans, when you don't talk for all Spurs fans. Like I don't talk for all Spurs fans, but I don't have the fucking arrogance to go, all Spurs fans, like you do all the fucking time. So wind your goddamn neck in and stop trying to be clever.
Don't worry about it, Brian. It's only because he's been triggered.
I've told you, it's the one guy. It's the one. Right? He's my kryptonite. He's my fucking kryptonite.
I know. Basically sat there, right, winding himself up because he's got no real answers, which is fine. It's not a problem.
Let's just show respect to people in the chat. And Owen, your last comment, that's your last warning. You send something like that again, you're out of the chat.
You know what? Listen, if we all agreed, it would make these shows very boring.
I don't mind a disagreement, but showing respect. So, Owen, your last two comments, last chance on that one, and
once again, he's giving it the big one.
Anyway, let's get to a couple of other comments.
Whatever makes his willy hard, it's fine.
Listen, if he wants to say there's part of the new porn, then that's his choice, mate. Hold on. Does he want a bit of boob for it? Just to really tip him over the edge.
Oh, look at
that. Let's just calm it all down, and get to the football. Spence has a reputation. This is from Cody. Spence has a reputation as well. Don't forget issues with Neil Warnock and Bauer. Combine that with Conte's stubbornness, not looking good. Another one from Bob Spur. Madison currently destroying Forest. 2 goals. One was world-class free kick. My Forest mate has just called me a because it's Emerson's fault.
Yeah, of course you don't give a shit, Oren. Of course you don't. That's why you're
Hold on, give a dance. Does that mean is he a yang?
I warned you, Owen. Just if you've got nothing nice to say, Owen, just don't bother watching the show and don't comment. Anyway,
that's why you're still commenting, Oren, because you don't give a shit. That's right.
Hold on, is he a yang?
No,
anyway,
sorry, Northern Ireland.
Oh, right, because you said the word darn. I thought
anyway.
No, he's not. I don't think he's Southern.
I don't think he shags his sister. It's fine.
Anyway,
I don't think so.
I'm in charge here.
Yeah, you like the tweet you are. Shut up, Chris, and let us.
Right, we've already mentioned this. We've already mentioned this. Rez, we'll start with you. This guy Kulu, a huge miss. I did see something today saying he's out for 2 weeks, which is
is massive.
That's true. We've already said it. He tracks back. He helps that right side out. But in terms of, we'll get to the passing in the lack of passing in the final third in a bit. But I feel confident if he was playing, there wouldn't have been any issues on that final ball, and we would have scored more than the 1 goal fairly easily. I mean, how big a miss was he? Yeah. And like Gareth said as well, Brian Hill was our only attacking guy on the bench because Kulusevski weren't there.
So, mate, we
can. The thing is, we can always do the what ifs and if maybes and all of that stuff. Okay, we can't say for certain that if Kulu had played, we'd have won that game. We don't know, right? One thing I'll say is this: I'm getting to the point where I'm boring myself, let alone people who are watching.
Finally, right? You've been boring us for fucking weeks.
Shut the fuck up. But it all comes down to the recruitment again. Okay, we are short. Yeah, look at the effective play. No, you're not. You're 4'6" and you know you are. All right, I've stood next to you and I've seen the top of your head without looking down. All right, and you didn't even have to kneel. All right. No. No,
but I
look,
needed a magnifying glass.
we come back to it. We come back to the point, yeah? An effective side would have proper, I don't want to say backup because it is a squad game, but someone to step into a missing player's shoes that can do a fair amount of what that missing player does, yeah? The reason that we're in this hole that we're in right now is because we neglected the team for so long. It's never been a case of thinking, right, we've got this squad and it's effective, right? We've got cover everywhere that we need it. And then when one player in that squad maybe disappears, maybe goes to another club, retires, you know, whatever the reason is, replacing like for like, we've not done that. Additional to that, we have basically been jumping from pillar to post with our managers all the time, saying, right, this manager's not good enough, get rid of him. This manager's not good enough, get rid of him. This manager's not good enough, get rid of him. 14 managers under Enoch. Okay, there comes a point where you need some continuity and you need something that actually says we've got a plan, that we've got a strategy. Us missing Kulu is not. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it. It's not the fact that it's Kulu missing. It's the fact that it's Kulu missing and we've got no one to replace him with, right? I love the fact that we've got Richarlison. I love the fact that we've got Son and Kane. I love the fact that we've got Kulu. But if you look at it, we've got 4 effective forwards, right, for 3 positions. What does that tell you, right? We should have a minimum of 5 good ones. Mora is still there, so you can argue that we've got 5
for a little while as well, isn't he? I think.
But he's been injured for a while too. So then we've got 2 injuries. So now we're down to 3 attackers, right? Hill, I'm sorry, has not shown any sign that he is Premiership ready. Yeah, he's very young. He's very slight. He had to go back to Spain because that was where he was comfortable. You know, we were trying to ship him back out to Spain as well in this transfer window, and it didn't come about again because of the clubs pissing around with finances and all of that stuff.
I thought it all would have started with a big bang, but it didn't for him. But you know,
no, it just comes to the point where you have to look at the deeper problem. The deeper problem. Yeah, I was just ignoring it, G. Don't worry about it. The deeper problem is recruitment. Now, does that help us to know that now? No, it actually doesn't. All right. But what we have to understand is that we're in a situation in which we are still like an engine that is being rebuilt, in which not every broken part has been fixed. Right. We have to demand that in this coming transfer window, they do more to fix it. And in the summer and the winter after that, and the summer after that, and the winter after that, over and over again. We've got to start sending the message that we will no longer accept mediocrity. We will no longer accept one for the future, right? Because one for the future at Spurs means one for the future for sale. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that player is going to think, because we had Clinton and Jai. He was one for the future. He's not in our future now, right? We had Kulu. He was one for the future. He's not in our future now. We had Marcus Edwards. He was one for the future. He's not one for the future now. In fact, he came back and bit our future on the arse, if you remember again, when we played Sporting, right? It is time to stop. It is time to stop this ridiculous merry-go-round. Every Spurs fan should be demanding of the club that they pay attention to the squad. They do what all other football clubs do, and stop playing finance with football. That's the end of it.
I mean, Gareth, in terms of Kulu's injury going away from the finance, is this a sign of things to come with this World Cup? Players are going to get injured. Man City could easily have a Kevin De Bruyne and a Phil Foden for a little while.
But they're still going to have Haaland in because he's going nowhere.
Yeah, but we could have a Harry Kane, a Kulu out, Liverpool.
I've said on previous shows.
Is this a sign of things to come? Because there's going to be so much international football in a short space of time.
Yeah, Chris, I've said this on previous shows I've been on. I genuinely believe that the World Cup is going to have some kind of effect on whoever wins the Premier League and the top 4 race as well, because people are going to get injured. It just depends how badly those injuries are. You know, you look at the amount of players going from Tottenham, you know, the key players going from Tottenham. there's a few key players. Every key player is going from Tottenham. A few key players are going from Man City. Liverpool have a few key players going because Salah's not going. Haaland's not going. Which means that could work well in their favour. There's a lot. There are a lot of variables, and we've just got to be hopeful, mate. But the problem is, as Jimmy Greaves, you say, it's a funny old game. And what will happen will happen, and we're just going to have to deal with it, because there's no point us coming back on this merry-go-round in January going, well, we've done fuck all in the transfer window yet again, and look at all the injuries we've got, and fucking blah blah blah, fucking Levy out, Levy's a cunt. I'm fed up of wasting my breath on it. I know that, Brian, it's your hill. I know you're going to die on it, and I respect the fact that you will, and I understand why you will. I'm bored of it. Personally, I don't think he's doing enough, and if he goes, he goes. I've always maintained that, on a financial basis, the club's been run well because I believe in giving credit where it's due. As regards investing, the club has been shocking, and that needs to change. But January will come, but to be fair, part of me hopes we've got some injuries so that we're put into a position where we've got to spend some money.
That's the problem, though, Gareth. With what the teams were all mentioning, what will happen is if they have injuries, they will go bring in quality to replace it, as well as addressing the issues they need to address. If we get big injuries, we won't go address the right wing back. We won't go address the defender. We won't go address the creative midfielder. We go like, oh no, this player's out and he's going to be out for a while. Let's get him.
Let's go spend £2.50 on a Division 2 player because Kane will be back in 6 weeks.
Exactly. That's basically what we will do. Oh, we were going to do this, and we were going to. This is why I keep saying we need to change our team name to Inquiries FC, or We Are Interested Albion, or to we might make a Move Rovers. That's what we need to change our team name to, because January will come. If there are key injuries, everything we need
to dare is to say we tried.
Yeah. That's enough. This is what it's become. Man City, let's just say De Bruyne gets a horrific injury. They will go and spend whatever it costs to get someone in. So there'll be no ifs, buts, and maybes. How much do you want for him? Get him now. Bang, 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 done. Bye.
But do you think we won't? Conte will demand players. Okay. Do you think that will be enough, or do you think that's just
let's look at this.
Something
this
Levy
is the club.
will ignore?
This is the club where we hate January.
The answer to that already.
Hate January.
I have to ask. I'm a host, don't I? I've got to
we hate January.
I've got to ask a difficult question.
We hate January, and then we'll do it again. Spurs are interested. Inquiries FC will come to the forefront again, rather than, like, for instance, Maddison. We'll just use James Maddison. Apparently, we were offered him. Conte said no, or whatever way you want to look at it. Newcastle said, we want Maddison. Here's a bid. They said no. Then they went back with another bid, and they said no. If Tottenham did that and we didn't get the player, okay, it happens.
A bit like what we did with Bastini.
Don't just go, well, maybe. Like with Gvardiol. We wanted Gvardiol big time, but he said he'll stay in Germany for another season. So what did Chelsea try to do? Here you go. Here's the money now. You can have him on loan for the rest of the season. Did we have the brains to think? No, because it means spending big money. If we have injuries, and sorry, I need to get back to Kulu. Kulu is a huge concern. Like Gareth said, playing three up top has now been shown and proven it only works if Kulusevski is one of them. That's the only time a three works. If you constantly want to play 3-4-3, then Kulusevski is the most vital one out of those three.
Is he the most important player in our team now for you?
Yeah,
he's one of.
It's shocking. If you're going to play a three, Kulusevski has to play. That's how important he is. It does not work without him.
And because of Kulu and Perisic, because of the quality of their final ball, it makes them look both sides. Rather than like with the Arsenal game, they just made sure that they kept Perisic out because they knew Emerson was a liability. It's his fucking fault as always, cunt, right? But that's it. Kulu's important.
Don't slate him, Darren. Don't slate him. That makes you an expert. Don't slate Emerson because then you're an expert.
Well, I'm the one sat in this seat with a camera on me right now, so I don't give a fuck, right? So, as it stands, Kulu, Richarlison, he's good to come on as an impact player. He's got passion, he's got aggression, he's got pace. He's, you look at the difference he made when he came on in the Forest game. Sonny is going to will also be the same. Look at what he did when he came on at Leicester. Kulu and Kane are the two you need to keep up front and rotate. For me at the moment, rotate with Richarlison and Sonny as impact substitutes. Because and Perisic, and Kulu, it makes them look both sides of the pitch.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
this is the issue though, is the fact that we've got like one or two key players, right? We've got loads and loads of key players that if we lose them, things fall apart. If Kane gets injured, right, we are down to bare bones then, right? We've essentially then got Heung-min Son and Richarlison up front. Let's say someone goes in on Kane and gives him a knock on his ankle, which players have done. Remember Fabian Delph?
Yeah.
In the Man City quarterfinal, so it can happen. And then what are we going to do, right? Everyone's talking about the three in midfield, right? We should have played three in midfield. Yeah, okay, but we've only got 4 central midfielders to choose from. Yeah, let's say again one of them only just come back from injury, so that's Ollie Skip. So asking us to play three in the middle, you're basically risking your entire central midfield roster until Skip came back. And then let's say one of the others gets injured. Bentancur was injured last season. Højbjerg didn't get injured last season. Bissouma was injured for Brighton.
Højbjerg did get injured last season, right? But he was back in time. I think he got a knock on international duty.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, but every player could get injured. So if you are insistent that we play 3-5-2 and you've only got 4 midfielders to cover 3 positions, right? 2 injuries, and then what do you do? With 60 games to play? This is the thing that people don't get. We stand there and we say, he should have done that. He should have done the other. People are talking about Conte out. Conte's a fraud, I saw someone say recently. Can you believe? Right?
Some of our fans need to stay off the crack.
Yeah. Conte is paid £20 million a year for a reason. It is because he is an expert at what he does. Yeah. He knows, he is thinking about 60 games, potentially 60 games next season as well, because that's what he's paid to do. We're not paid to do that. We just look at the game that we just saw. Oh, yeah, I know better than Conte. He should have done this, that, and the other.
And because this is why I said it last night when I was on with Tommy. He brought up shutting up shop at 70 minutes. But you don't do that during a North London derby. The problem is for me, I think a North London derby now means more to the fans than it does to the managers and the players, because they are thinking so far ahead with what's coming up. It didn't surprise me that he shut up shop at 70 minutes because the game was lost anyway. But the fact it was a North London derby or not, you're right. You've got to try and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, and the point, and this is where we come back to what we've been talking about the thing. Yeah, but the issue here is the fact that
he's adding some ketchup to the chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, well, no. Listen, I mean, I wouldn't go quite so far as to say Conte is just another paid puppet like Jose was, but he's not that far off the truth. In as much as I was willing to hope that the club would act differently, would actually identify the idea. But then that presupposes that they want what we want, which is to win something. They don't want that. They want us to be in the Champions League every season, and that's it. That's all they care about, right? If a manager can get us 4th consistently, that manager will be in the job forever, right? We won't win anything. We will just be one of the also-rans. What Levy and ENIC have done have turned, or are in the process of turning, Tottenham into an also-run club. And that is not who we are. That is not who we have ever been, okay? A club, the only non-league club to win an FA Cup is not an also-ran club, okay? And any fan who is satisfied with what Levy and ENIC have done and consider no trophies as still achieving something needs to take a long, hard look at themselves. and actually ask whether or not they are football supporters, because we want achievement. Okay, we want to win things. At the moment, it looks to me like Levy doesn't.
Yeah. I agree with what Max said earlier about that in terms of the finances. He's done well there, Levy. But as a chairman, you've got to do two things for me. You've got to make yourself financially stable, which he's done, and then competitively competitive. That's not even competitively competitive on the pitch, which he hasn't done. Yeah. He had a chance to do that, 16, 17, to then push on. Never did that. So that's.
Do you know what? Football is about, is many things, but you've got to speculate to accumulate, and also you've got to take a gamble. And Levy is too safe. He's not a gambling man.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I mean, some of us have learned. Some of us learned a long time ago, right? Some of us have been talking, but we've got people out there who it's ridiculous. They defend Levy, right? And they then attack us. We're not attacking them. We're attacking an issue that we see as a problem at the club, right? They attack us. And that's that to me makes absolutely no sense. How can you bring it into your head to criticize someone who, even if we're completely wrong, is drawing those conclusions because they want the best for the club?
But could you argue could you argue that Levy out people are attacking them as well by saying they're stupid and idiots because they don't agree? Because that is an attack as well. No,
but I don't say that. I didn't say they're stupid. I think what they're doing is stupid.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you, Vez. I'm talking about the Levy out people in general who some of them do say they're idiots because they don't learn.
What you've got to remember, and this is something I come across, funnily enough, because it's me more than anyone, because I'm so staunch on it and well known, it's my thing, it's my whatever. Anyone that says Levy out and attacks a fan or attacks someone that isn't, I automatically they go, they're with Brian Daigle. No, they're not. No, they're not. The group that I am with and the people that are there talking about Levy. Levy. And we haven't got time to get personal with them. We don't want to get personal with them. We're too busy stating fundamentally the facts that are wrong with the club. Forget what I feel, forget what Rez feels, forget what you two feel. Any club in the world is one trophy in 22 years acceptable.
Do you know what? For me, I find the problem is, Brian, with this is it's one of these things where you either can't agree to disagree or you can never find a middle ground. You're one or the other, and you're so and because you either side feel so passionately about it, this is why it becomes such a hotbed and such a bone of contention, because they all think that all the Levianers will go, well, this is why it's good. It's like, this is why I sit there and say, I want ENIC and I want Levy out, but I will give him the credit for the way he's run the club financially, right?
I do as well.
But you've got these people who are so staunch, Levy in. We've got the stadium, we've got this, we've got that, and then you've got people who are so staunch, like yourself, Levy out. We haven't won two trophies in X amount of years, and there's no balance and there's no middle ground, and this is why it becomes such a fucking raging.
Yeah, but Mac, the difference is I've got no problem saying what he's done for the club commercially. I've even said if I ever got a divorce from Ilana, I want him to represent me, because when she remarries, that person will be giving me alimony money. That's how good he is when it comes. That's how good he is when it comes to that shit. When it comes to selling our star players,
and he'll be refunding you for the wedding that you had to her as well.
Exactly. When it comes to selling assets, there is no better person. But that's not what. When I started supporting Tottenham Hotspur, and my dad was telling me about the wonders of Tottenham Hotspur, not once did he mention the bank balance. Not once did he mention, we got the record transfer fee for a player going out. Not once did he mention, okay, we have a cinema and we have a skywalk and we have. Not once.
Yeah, you can have sell down the stadium.
We all support the club for what goes on the fucking football pitch.
Yeah.
That's why you have a season ticket, to go watch that team and support that team down that football pitch. We don't have season tickets to sit in the boardroom and see how he fucking does these deals. You look at it, naming rights. Has there ever been a club that has been 3 years in their football stadium and hasn't got name? Everyone walks into Barcelona and Real Madrid have got naming rights sorted. They haven't even built the fucker. They haven't even built the fucker. I know it's Barcelona and Real Madrid, but you go on about that. We've hired this guy from the NFL who has broken some of the biggest fucking naming rights in North American history. He has got the best job in the world. I could just sit here and do nothing and just say, you know what? Here's something, and he'll say no to it. But don't forget last week, as Chris alerted me, we have signed a sponsorship deal with Coke. So Coke are now an official sponsor of Tottenham Hotspur. What about the big fucking say to Coke?
Half time, 2 bags for 60 quid. Get in.
How about naming rights? Pepsi have a stadium over here. How about you have a stadium? Oh no, we can't have that because money will come into the club, and then the fans will start asking, "Where's that money going?"
How about the Preparation H Stadium because he's a pain in our asses,
mate? In all honesty, how Tottenham Hotspur didn't call that after they got rid of the West End, they got rid of Bill Nicholson Way. How this club have not mentioned this rather than the new Tottenham Arena? How that hasn't been called Bill Nicholson Arena or Bill Nicholson Stadium? I don't fucking know. I don't know, but actually I do know. 2 words: Daniel Levy.
I was going to say there's no money in it, is there?
But there's no money in the new Tottenham Arena.
Yeah. No.
The thing is, this is the wider discussion over. Okay, football shouldn't be in the hands of individual people or companies, right? It doesn't work, right? And I'll tell you why. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a business like any other." No, it isn't. And I'll tell you for why. Because it's not subject to supply and demand. Yeah, you can't have a situation in which a business is not subject to supply and demand. Okay, every Spurs fan or the majority of Spurs fans follow Spurs whether they're doing well or doing badly. I don't drink Coke according to some ephemeral family connection. I drink it because it is for me the better cola drink, right? As opposed to Pepsi, right? That's supply and demand. If Coke do badly,
I don't do Coke because it's not it's only the best brands for me.
Right, but I choose between Coke.
Seriously, don't worry.
I choose between Coke and Pepsi. Gareth chooses between Coke and crack. But the point of it is, right?
I don't want to be in a kettle, mate. It's only at least a 3-to-1 mix. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. But the point of it is that you can't say that a football club is a business. It isn't, because your customers will not come or go based on your results. They will come even with the results, right? And that is not a business. And so it's the wider thing. And what we are so unfortunate in having at Spurs is not just someone who wants to take advantage of the businessification of football. They actually want to make it worse. They want to keep making it worse and actually turn the whole thing into nothing but a commercial enterprise. And that is not what football is supposed to be about. And anyone who turns around and says that commercializing football, commercial achievement, is something that we should put in the pro column for a chairman has not understood what football is about. The pros and cons of football are, did you win or did you lose? Not how much money did you make? How many skywalks did you build? What property portfolio did you create? Did you win or did you lose? If you have more of the did you lose in your cons, you're not doing it right. And that is
football stopped becoming about football a long time ago, ever since the Premier League started, just because it's all about money now. The ridiculous salaries that they're on mean that they have to generate massive amount of money to keep them going. But let's move on.
It's not sustainable, Chris. It's not sustainable. It will collapse soon. It will collapse in the next 10 years or so.
Well, we'll end up having games, about half a dozen games for each team in like Dubai or America or China or somewhere like that, because that will be big money, and then that will take it even more away from the fans.
You know what else will happen? Brian won't be flying over because, and me and Rez and you won't be getting the train down to Tottenham because we'll have been priced out of it, and it'll all be a bunch of tough-nosed pricks in suits with no atmosphere, sucking the soul out of football, drinking champagne and having caviar at half-time instead of a pint and a pie.
Yeah, that's the way it's been going since the Premier League, and it will
break, because the thing that you've got to bear in mind about rich people who love little things like that, it's always a fad. It's always a fad, and eventually they'll walk away and the whole house of cards will collapse. And instead of doing something about it now, instead of saying, you know what, let's save football before disaster strikes, we're still going down this route
because they'll realise the crowds are starting to dwindle. It'll be, oh, let's have family fan day, £20 a ticket. Yeah, fuck off.
Well, we'll see how that goes. But it's the way it's going, isn't it? It's all about money. It has been for a while. But let's get back onto the football. Last couple of points. Brian, Son's final third passing.
Horrendous would be not game. Haven't we already said we were shit? We got done. We should have done this. Now bollocks.
Yeah, but you forgot I'm in charge. So
Son. Human Son. I'm hoping the last point is Romero. I'm really hoping the last point is Romero.
There isn't a last point of Romero, but we will talk about him. So Son and Romero is what I meant.
There you go. Son. Listen.
Hold on, who's running the show?
With Human Son, it weren't just him. With our final ball in the final third was again nothing short of fucking woeful. Again, these are professional elite.
What did you put it down to? Because obviously in the Leicester game he scored 6 goals, so final ball was fairly good there for 6 goals.
Yeah, but that's
Leicester City. This down to?
That's Leicester City, who are bottom of the league at home and are so low on confidence.
Yeah.
We went to, as we know, our arch enemies who always do this to us, and we thought, oh no, this is the game. We'll be a shrinking violet. Like I said at the beginning, we had the World Cup winning goalkeeper, Champions League winners, Euro 2021 finalists, players that have played on the big game and the big stage and the big occasion. Because we went there and they played the occasion, not the game, they literally switched off. And it's it's unacceptable how all of a sudden these players all of a sudden can't put a pass together. It always happens here, always happened, and always will until something is done about it. Romero, I love the man. I think he is an absolute.
That 46-minute thing was ridiculous.
He's a world-class defender. World-class defenders have their bad days. Let's face it, Van Dijk hasn't been the same this season, whatever.
Yeah.
But the reason he's been so woeful is because he was rushed back from injury. Why was he rushed back from injury? Like Rez said, Davinson Sanchez is the only cover, apart from Longley, if Ben Davies is out. That's the standard. He has come back. He also had to travel the furthest, apart from Son coming back from international duty late. But it's like, it doesn't matter how tired you are. It's the biggest game, and we need you. He is not ready. He needs, as good as he is, and he is fucking phenomenal, he's a human and his body has to recover from an injury. But we can't do it. And this is, again, I'm annoyed that Conte hasn't gone mad about the transfer window. Or at least ripplings and said, you know what, this is not what I goddamn wanted. I ain't happy. We'll deal with it. But he should. But
party. That's the point.
Yeah, that's the thing. He should have gone public. And really turned the heat up. He should have turned the heat up. Listen,
it's a dangerous game to play.
But Rez, if he gets sacked, you know how we go and everything that happens because someone stood up to him. And if he doesn't get sacked and he gets told, because everyone said, oh, he's coming now because we've seen the ways Levy's going to listen to him. If he doesn't listen to him, then he looks even a bigger fool. But getting back to it, this is about Son and Romero. The final third passing weren't just Son. Perisic, Kane, Richarlison. Son, I watched Match of the Day today for the first time. I couldn't watch it Son had not one single touch in the penalty area. Kane had 2, and one of them was the penalty kick.
Yeah.
I mean, Vez, with Son there, what Brian said there, that I think it was Match of the Day that they showed a clip where, yes, it was Emerson's cross. It was actually quite a good cross in that first half. No one was in the box. Son wasn't busting a gut, which I would have thought he would be now, being the 3 goals against Leicester, 2 goals for career in 2 games, one a brilliant free kick. Would you put that down to? Like, I would have thought Son's confidence would be absolutely sky high again. Certainly his celebration after the first Leicester goal with no celebration, just it looked to me like the weight on his shoulders had been completely lifted and he was free again. And yeah, he was back to how he's been playing this season. Or do you think it's just the travel of 2 international games, the 2 games a week because of this World Cup, so fixtures are congested? Would you put Son's kind of almost back to lack of form again down to?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it's very tempting to pin it down to a single thing. It's always many different things and many combinations of things. One thing that we saw more intensity against Arsenal at the Emirates on Saturday than we did against them at the Emirates last season. Okay, that is undeniable. We seem to be getting over this. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Oh, let's play some football thing. It's not there yet, but we're getting it's better. You know, there's been a progression. Yeah. But on Saturday, one thing that you can say is that Arsenal wanted it more. They wanted it more. And when we have seen time and time again a Spurs side that doesn't seem to want it, you have to ask yourself why. Is it the manager? Well, no, it can't be the manager because, you know, manager after manager, we've had that issue where they don't seem to want it as much. Okay, could it be the players? Well, no, because it's different players time and time again who don't seem to want it. So there is something that occurs that stops players from wanting it quite as much when it comes to the big games. Okay, for me, that is the definition of that hateful term Spursy. For me, the idea of Spursy is not throwing it away or bottling it in big games. It is the fact that no one ever really seems to turn up. There is a lack of real wanting to die commitment about Spurs, and that has been the case for a long time. And again, I'm sorry for repeating myself, what's the common denominator? Can't be the managers, that's changed. Can't be the players, they've changed. Can't be the ground staff, they've changed. Can't be the stadium, that's changed. Can't be the training ground, that's changed.
It's a fan
hasn't changed.
They're still the same.
Reg, do you know what?
It's Emerson's fault.
No, you know what? Reg said something, and I said it on We Are Tottenham TV when I went on after the game. For me, this performance Saturday was worse than the one with Nuno. And the reason I say that is if you look at it, Harry Kane didn't want to be at the club. Ndombele and Dele Alli did fuck all in that midfield. Half the team didn't know what the hell was going on with Nuno and didn't understand. Half the team didn't want him, and that was shit. Fast forward 12 months. There's an elite manager. Every single player wants to play for him. There's no disharmony. There's no unrest. Everyone knows their jobs and knows what to do. Yet still, they did that. Everyone goes on. Look what we were like under Nuno, and look what we're like under Conte. Well, half the team didn't want to play for Nuno and didn't understand what the hell was going on. On Saturday, there's not a single player on that squad, even on the bench, maybe Ryan Hill, who doesn't want to play at Tottenham, who isn't
just cursed.
Who isn't hook, line and sinker into absolutely everything Conte's telling. They're with him. They understand how good he is. They understand what a fantastic manager is. They're all playing for him, and they do that.
I think we're just cursed. It's either a curse or because I give up.
I mean, Mac, is there an element here where it was obviously a terrible result and we're obviously down in the dumps because it's Arsenal and the manner of it with the sending off and everything. But let's try and end on a bit of a positive here. We are still third. We've only lost 1 game in 8, which is a lot better than last year.
I'm not down in the dumps about it.
Yeah, well, but in terms of generally the Spurs fan,
Yeah.
Is there an element that we have to kind of put things? And I also saw something that 8 games losing to Arsenal away quite heavily was the exact same amount of games and the exact same game week, I think it was, when his Chelsea team lost, where he changed it up and then they went on a 15-game unbeaten run. I don't think we'll go on a 15-game unbeaten run. I don't think we've got it anyway. But is there an element that it's kind of put things into perspective here? We're still into third.
Do you know what? And this is what I'll say, because I've got I work with a lot of Arsenal fans that all of a sudden came out of the woodwork today when I turned up. You know, parasites. Anyway, they and I said, you know what? I said, listen, we were done. We were done by a better team on the day. We didn't turn up. You guys did. You beat us. And just I can handle either giving it our all and just missing out, or do you know what? If we got outplayed by happy days. This is why I'm not down about it. But also, there's still another 30 games to go.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
I know that, and this is why I said earlier about the North London derby being more for us as fans and meaning more to us than you know the clubs for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, when the end of the season comes, when we've played our 38 games, right, and we are third and Arsenal are fourth, are we gonna turn around? You know, and an Arsenal fan will go, oh yeah, but we did you at the fucking Emirates, and we're going to go, well, we're in the Champions League, you cunt, and you're not. What's more important? You know, and this again comes back to the point earlier, the bigger picture. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's shit because it's sod's law. Dr. Tottenham will see you now, you know, but we fucked ourselves with the Dr. Tottenham part because we fucked our unbeaten record up against the one person we didn't want to have take it away from us. But you know what? It's 38 games. And if we're sat there above Arsenal after 38 games and we're back in the Champions League, you know, above those, and who knows, maybe even a domestic cup, maybe, right? Then are we really going to sit here and remember this weekend where we go, oh, fuck me, that was a waste of a drive down to London? No. The best part about I'll be honest, best part about my whole trip down to, well, there was two great things about my trip down to Highbury. They've got a cracking pizza place down there, proper stone bake, run by Italians, remind me of being back in Naples. Fucking amazing. And it took me 50 minutes to get home from the Emirates. I had a clear run out of London. It was brilliant. So, nice. You know, but yeah, but back to the main point. End of the season comes. If we're sat there above Arsenal, we're not going to give two fucks about this result in the bigger picture, and that's what we need to remember. Let's wait till the end of the season. Let's see where we're sat. You know, if they're above us by 2 points, then yes, this result becomes part of the equation. But you know, if we're ahead of them by, it doesn't matter if we're ahead of them by 1 point or 5. This weekend's irrelevant.
We'll beat them at home.
Yeah, we will. I'll be honest. I think I genuinely my prediction for the top 4 is Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal, and United. I think Liverpool are going to fall back. I think Chelsea are going to fall off because they just seem to be missing something at the moment. And you know, like
they've got a manager as well now in Potter who hasn't had that pressure of that bigger club.
Yeah, you know,
he's relatively pressureless at Brighton.
And the World Cup's going to play its part. But yeah, like I said, if we're sat at the end of the season, if we're sat above Arsenal, we're not going to give 2 fucks that they did us 3-1.
Yeah, and then Brian, last thing before we kind of wrap up, Frankfurt next. It's a must-win game, obviously. With the who did we lose to? Sporting. Away from home, and then we've got them at home. I think a week later. Do you envision any big changes in the team? I think Kulu's probably still out. Or do you think it'll be the same team, same 11 that started against Arsenal? And how do you think the game will pan out?
Mate, listen. This game, I said it on the pump up. This game is so important. If we don't get a result here, our very Champions League journey could be ending at the group stage. Because if we get 2 losses, then we're in serious trouble. We're in serious trouble. Going to Frankfurt is not the easiest place to go. And if I hear one more, we got to deal with this, and we got to take this defeat, and we got to learn from it, like we did Sporting, like we did Mura, like we did Pacos de Ferreira, like we did Belgrade, like we did, and I can keep naming them. This is a serious game. The only thing I will say is apart from the Wolves and Southampton game, where I was with Rez for both of them, they're the only time we went back to back with defeats. Every time we had a defeat, we bounced back. And boy, do they need to. They need to literally go out there and literally demolish them. They need to put. I'll take 3 points any way it comes. But after what we just witnessed, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered and a lot of rights they need to wrong. And let's just hope they do it. I have to say I'm concerned about this game. I really am. I think we may win it, but I can't say, do you know what, we're going to win this with 3 points in the bag. We tried saying that at Sporting. Look what happened.
Would you take a draw now, a draw away from home?
I would bite your hand off. Bite your hand off. Go get the. If we get a draw, that puts us on 4 points. Win our 2 home games that are left. We've qualified because we're on 10 points. That's simple. So if you gave me a draw right now, and I would say this is the hardest away game we've got on paper. Going to Marseille, their fans are going to be looking for us like they are in Frankfurt. But on the pitch, you got to remember the German league is probably the closest to the Premier League.
Well, you look at the game they gave West Ham and they gave Rangers.
Yeah,
they're more than capable.
Exactly. So I am concerned. If you gave me a draw right now, this time I said before the Arsenal game, would you take a draw now? And I said no, I roll the dice. Well, I tried to roll the dice and they bit me in the arse. Now,
I said I'd take a draw for the Arsenal game. Yeah,
I would bite your ass. I would bite your hand. Bite your ass. Bite your hand off.
Gareth just came when you said that.
Yeah, you want to see the disappointment on my wife's face? She thought she was getting something, right?
No. He's spent now.
That's it. I'm done. I'm already having my fag, mate. Yeah, I'm good.
Where's in
when you're done?
Where's in terms of Frankfurt? How do you see the lineup going? The game going?
4-1 Spurs. There you go.
Is that with a change up in lineup or just a bit of a rocket up their arse after the Arsenal game?
Yeah. I reckon we're going to see Davinson Sanchez tomorrow. But that will probably I think we'll see Davinson Sanchez and we will see Skip tomorrow. That's what I reckon.
Yeah. And what about you, Mac? Big changes in the lineup. How do you see the game going?
Well, I want Spence to get a run out.
Do you think he will though?
Well, like I said earlier on in the show, if he starts the game or at least comes on and gets half hour, 20 minutes, then I see he's in the running for Brighton. I reckon that I think it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Sanchez tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Skip come on as a substitute. It might even be a chance for Basuma to start. That's it'd be nice to see that. Obviously, we know that Kulu's not going to be available, so we know who we're going to have up front and the front three. I think it's going to be a tight game, man. I think they're going to give us problems, but I think we'll nick it. I reckon 2-1 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd take a draw as well. Like, it's all about getting through to that knockout stages. Don't lose away from home. Win your home games, then you're through.
It'll be a 4-1 draw. It'll be a 4-1 draw to Spurs.
Okay. Well, that would be a draw, which I said, so therefore I'll take it. But yeah, we pretty much reached the end. Nice, happy thing to end on as well after the dross that we saw and the disappointment of losing to Arsenal and our undefeated run coming to an end. But yeah, cheers, guys. As always, been on here plenty of times, Brian, Mac, and Rez. Thanks to everyone in the chat as well. Please hit the like, please hit the subscribe before you go. And then when you go over to these guys' channels. Brian, Tottenham on Tour.
Yeah, you can find me at Tottenham on Tour. That's all I'm going to say. I'm pissed off with this fucking defeat. Yeah, Tottenham on Tour. You can find me. We're trying to chase 5,000 and
new tattoo if he does.
No. I've learned my lesson.
He'll bite you on the arse again.
All I can say is I may be doing a lot of content from England soon.
Oh,
that's all I will say.
When you over, bro?
I'll speak to you when we're off air.
No worries.
And Rez, Shelfside Spurs show. Shelfside Spurs show, so that 10 times fast.
Shelfside Spurs show. You can find us Thursday 7:30. You can find us 4 words Shelf Side Spurs show 7:30 Thursday night. So we'll probably be talking about the Frankfurt game. We might mention the Arsenal game, who knows, or dares to dream. But do come along for a slice of anarchy and esoteric madness mixed in with a little bit of football with myself and the man of 1,000 names, Rick, Barry, Sean, Ranjit, Dave, Montague, Stephen, whichever name we're going to give him that day. And yeah, just have some fun.
Excellent. And Mac, we've run out of time.
No, it's fine.
No live stream, but a podcast. But I'm not sure of Raw Emotion podcast if you're doing it. Obviously, you go to all the games pretty much at the moment.
I'll tell you. Yeah. So unlike these virgins, me and Mark have a life. Some of us get to go to games. But we've now managed to come up with a format that we're going to be moving forward. So Raw Emotion Pod at Emotion Pod on Twitter. We are coming back. We were going to be back for the Arsenal game, but sadly, due to technical difficulties, we weren't able to get our bit. No. To be fair, mate, regardless of the loss, we had proper technical issues. Couldn't get anchor running. So we're going to be back. We've got a new thing we're going to do. So we're going to do it. It'll still all go out after the game on the Saturday or the Sunday. The night before, we'll do a little bit of a pre-game thing. Then we're going to have a special guest on, a different Spurs fan every week, whoever we can get on. And we're stealing the idea from Hawksby and Jacobs to do a Falls panel. So we'll have the Mac predictions, the Mark predictions. So it'll be a point for a draw, 3 points for a win. You'll get bonus 2 points if you get the first goal scorer correct. And then obviously the guest on will also be able to have their prediction. We'll run these leagues until the end of the season. If Mark wins, I'll give £100 to a charity of his choice. If I win, Mark will give £100 to a charity of my choice. And if our guests win, then £200 will go to a charity of our choice. So
the charity of my choice is the Enoch Out.
Well, yeah, mate, if you want to come on, by all means.
Brian's very confident that he's won already, even though it's not happened yet.
The Resonator Charitable Trust Foundation. It's very recently been set up. If you want to make a donation, just drop me onto Nuggin.
Yeah, no, yeah. What's your link for it? At ineedasyrupandfig.com. That's the one.
Yeah, it is the Res Trichological Replacement Therapy Foundation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you get a couple of syrups, Res, pass one over to this.
But that's the format that we're going to go into moving forward. We should be back out for the Brighton game. Obviously, we only deal with the Premier League games. But one of the reasons as well we're bringing a guest on is because obviously they released the team an hour before, so I can still be outside the ground to give my part. It gives Mark someone to do a half-time bit with, and then obviously all three of us at the end. So that's why we've changed it up. It just took us a little bit of time to find what's going to work. With me being at so many games this season.
Excellent. Yeah. Everyone's Twitter handle is in the description. Everyone's YouTube link is in the Twitter description, and the Raw Emotion podcast link is also in the description as well. So make sure you check those out as well, and keep follow Emotion Pod as well. And I'm sure Mac or Mark or both will be updating when they're going live and each week.
Well, to be fair, guys, I think a good thing for us moving forward, and guys to those in the chat. Yeah, if you're following, then you've got more chance of being asked to come on. It's you might as well get the followers on rather than the generics. So obviously, I know Brian, Rez, Chris. You're already on the follow list, and we'll try and get you boys on as well.
Excellent. Yeah, and something positive to end on after a pretty poor weekend. But yeah, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching the replay as well, do the same thing. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out Chris's Magic. That's a show I do on the side, just a little magic trick, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m.
He has a 10 p.m. show called Chris's Magic Fingers.
Yeah, that's not live yet. That's just for you, Mac. I thought you knew that.
That's for private viewers only.
Yeah.
Now I know how Sooty and Sweet felt.
But yeah, all of those shows, they're all listed here in the description as well, so no excuse. Yeah, like I say, like, subscribe on all of these great shows, and then go to the podcast as well, and make sure you subscribe to that and follow everyone on Twitter. And we're going to leave now before Matt gets to everything. Frankfurt tomorrow, big game. Hopefully you can win, but I'd take a draw. just don't lose and don't two losses in a row. Don't get to that stage. Hopefully we can do that. So come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs. And as always, Levy out.
Thanks so much for watching. For everybody who joined in the live chat and added comments, before you go, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, please hit that notification bell. That'll give you a notification every time we're about to go live, and it's all completely free. For those who missed the live show, you can catch this whenever you want on Let's Talk Tottenham's YouTube channel. Please also hit the like, subscribe and notification bell, and everybody please leave feedback, comments, suggestions in the comments section on the YouTube videos. For those of you who listen to the audio podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anyone who wants that audio podcast, you can pick that up wherever you get your podcast from. We're back Mondays 7:30pm UK time and Fridays 12:30pm UK time. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter at @LTalkTottenham, Instagram Let's Talk Tottenham Podcast, you'll find all the information there. Anyone who wants something a little bit different, also do a magic show. So I do one trick a week, which drops Wednesday 7:30pm UK time. Chris's Magic on YouTube is where you'll find that. But in the meantime, come on, you Spurs.